Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Dayspring Discussions, the show where we talk about comic books, movies, sci-fi, fantasy, TV. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. I am your host, Sean McGahee, and with me here is the Falcon to my Captain America, Mr. Joshua Dell. Angel, Josh, say hello to people.
What's up, world? How y'all doing?
We got 2 days till Captain America Civil War.
2 days, man.
2 days. I am psyched. I went back and it was Sunday. Lisa's like, hey, I feel like watching the first Captain America. I'm like, okay, fine. And I already done my Avengers prep, dude. I watched Winter Soldier. I watched Age of Ultron. I watched Iron Man. And she's like, hey, I want to watch Captain America. I'm like, okay, we'll do that. Well, then last night I'm sitting around. I'm like, well, I want to watch something. I'll watch Avengers. And then tonight I'm like, well, might as well watch Winter Soldier and then watch Age of Ultron and just do it. Just finish it off.
Go for it.
Exactly.
Man, those are the words I want to hear my girlfriend say is, I want to watch Captain America. Yeah, last time we saw those, I hate to call her out, but she passed out. She's not a big Captain America fan, so I'm interested to see. She seems super excited for the Civil War movie. Yeah. I can't wait to see her reaction.
And this one has, a lot more characters. It's got Iron Man in it. It's got all the other, Avengers except for Hulk and Thor in it. So maybe she might enjoy the interaction more than just Captain America.
Yeah, it's been a nice little break, too, since the last time we watched a superhero movie. So I think
nice little break. It's been like 2 months since we had Batman v Superman. Oh, my gosh. But yeah, super psyched. Cannot wait for Captain America Civil War. It's my number one movie I want to see this year. So I'm super excited to see what it's going to do. I heard nothing but good things. Nothing but good things about it. So I'm very hopeful. It just blew up the international box office. People have been complaining that it's Captain America, but then the last country it's going to premiere in is America.
Save the best for last.
Whatever.
Right?
I think it's just getting the hype up, really, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting all the hype up around so more people are excited to go see it. But I'm totally excited for that. They got a little awesome things happening this week. I got some good things. Got Captain America Civil War happening on Thursday. Tomorrow, May 4th, International Star Wars Day. For the first time in several years, I actually don't work. So I'm going to be sitting around watching some Star Wars, man.
Nice.
I got the Blu-ray last month of The Force Awakens. I haven't even watched it. I went through the bonus features, but I never actually watched the movie. So I'm going to sit down, I'll watch that, and I'm trying to think of what other Star Wars movie I should watch. I want to watch at least 2 Star Wars movies. I'm thinking my favorite, which is Empire Strikes Back.
Definitely.
Or Revenge of the Sith.
But, ooh, I think all 3, dude. I think you should definitely.
What I'm thinking is I might do Force Awakens, another movie, and then some episodes of Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, I would have been surprised if you didn't throw Rebels.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the season 2 finale being so good. I've already watched that twice. I wouldn't mind watching it again too, just because it's awesome. But yeah, totally excited for International Star Wars Day. But also this morning I got totally amped. Went over to my sister-in-law's to have breakfast. Lisa was cooking French toast. Delicious, of course, French toast. So then, when I go to anybody's house, I like to be in charge of the TV. I'm that guy, of course, if you know me. Even at work, I like to be in charge of what's on TV. So I usually just grab the remote and I try to find something that everyone's going to enjoy, or at least some good background noise. Last night, we went over there for dinner and I turned on the movie Major League, because everyone loves Major League. That's a fabulous movie, right? So this morning the kids were over there and I was looking for something. I hopped on Amazon Prime and lo and behold, my favorite cartoon as a child, Thundercats, is on Amazon Prime.
Wow.
Boom, man. I was on cloud 9. I was like, yes. Let's put that on. So I called Nora over. I'm like, Nora, come watch with Daddy, see what she thought of it. And she wasn't a big fan of it. But my nephew Logan sat and watched the entire episode with me.
Nice.
So awesome, yes. Your childhood cartoons like that, I've gone and tried to rewatch them now as an adult, and some of them just don't hold up. Now, Batman animated series, X-Men animated series, totally holds up.
Awesome.
Those are great. Other ones that I liked, such as Thundercats or Captain Planet, even Voltron, not quite stand up. But I will tell you, though, I did watch Thundercats like a year ago on YouTube, and in an altered state of mind, it's pretty good.
I like that.
Unaltered state of mind, maybe not so good. So maybe when I go through and rewatch some of them on Prime here, maybe I will be sober. We'll see. But anyway, moving on, going back to tomorrow, Star Wars Day, because we had a little bit of Star Wars news. We don't have a lot of Star Wars news lately, but something also came out today there's a new Star Wars book coming out called Bloodlines. Now, it's by an author called Claudia Gray. She wrote another book a little while ago called Lost Stars, which was a huge hit among Star Wars fans. I wasn't a big fan of it. Lisa loved it. Lisa's totally into like reading Star Wars and all that stuff, and she's excited. She actually gets this book today as well on her Audibles because she does the audiobooks.
Oh.
So she listened to this. So what it is, this book, it's set just a few years before The Force Awakens, actually.
Wow.
So in the book, it will show Leia as that why she formed the Resistance, when she formed the Resistance, the rise of the First Order, and dealing more with her and Han's relationship, among other things. Now, the main thing that's kind of highlighted in this book is actually the director of Episode 8, Rian Johnson, actually had some input into this novel as opposed to some of the story ideas and elements for the book. So that's kind of interesting that the guy who's directing Episode 8 actually helped write this story.
Hell yeah.
Thinking that maybe there's going to be some, interconnecting stuff going from Episode 8 to this novel as well. And remember, this book only takes place a few years before Episode 7. So that's the closest we've gotten to The Force Awakens now in canon, because between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, there's a 30-year gap. We've seen a little bit of stuff more towards Return of the Jedi. This is going to be the closest thing we've gotten so far that's close to The Force Awakens. Now, Josh, being a timid Star Wars fan, just watching the movies, even though I've begged you to watch Rebels, of course, knowing what you know about this book now, that Rian Johnson is helping direct the story, that it's set so close to Force Awakens, would you be interested at all maybe checking out the book?
Yes. The movie has definitely reamped my interest in the mythology, the backstory, and then you have this huge gap that there's so many questions that Force Awakens didn't answer.
Yeah.
And definitely makes me want to brings out the detective in me and wants to read this book and see if I could pick up on any hints, any story whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
That could answer some questions.
Well, there's a guy on Collider Movie Talk, Christian Harloff, who actually, in the book, he's a huge Star Wars fan, and he runs his own Star Wars podcast and stuff like that on YouTube. So, and he's interviewed Claudia Gray, the author of the book, and he got an advanced copy of the book. And last week he tweeted out that he actually got a planet named after him called Harloff Minor. Dude. And he was like on cloud nine, being a huge lifelong Star Wars fan. Like, that'd be so cool. But I was listening to last week's Jedi Council, and he was talking about where you actually get a sense of how long, Luke's vanished at the beginning of Force Awakens, and you actually get a sense of how long he's actually been gone in this book as well. So again, it goes back to all those questions that we had about Episode 7. Some of them are starting to get answered as well. Yeah. And I'm curious, to me, I want to know, as far as Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, is he going to be in this book as Ben Solo, or is he going to be in it as Kylo Ren? I mean, when did he turn? Was he, is he on the outs? What's going on there? Stuff like that. So again, it's set so close to The Force Awakens that hopefully we'll get some answers that we had when we watched The Force Awakens. And that would be awesome. So anyway, I'm super excited for tomorrow. Lisa's working. I'll take Nora to daycare. I got nothing to do but watch Star Wars tomorrow, so I'm totally excited for that.
National Star Wars
Day. Yeah! Plus, if you go online, there's a bunch of stuff. A lot of places like Amazon, and they usually have sales on Star Wars merchandise as well.
Interesting.
So sometimes, I know in recent past, I've picked up a couple good deals on graphic novels and books and a few toys, stuff like that. So
I need to complete my collection, man. I still have to buy. I don't have to buy Episode 1, but I have Episode 1, to be honest.
Okay, so
I need 2 and 3. So I wonder if I can find some deals on Amazon Prime.
I'm sure you can look tomorrow online. Also on Best Buy or Target. I'm sure they'll have some deals. But yeah, I would recommend. Look, say what you will of the prequels. I would at least pick up Episode 3, because I wrote a blog a while ago about how I feel like if Episode 3 was the only prequel film that we got, people wouldn't have judged it so harshly.
Yeah.
That's
very good article.
I go back and I watch it just as a single film. Of all the prequels, I think everyone can agree it's the best out of the 3. Still, it has its flaws, but as a single film, I don't think it's really that bad. I'm sure anyone who listens to this, some people, such as Joshua Griffey, if he's listening, is going to have a field day after I said that, because he's a huge hater of the prequels. But oh well, so we'll wait and see. But let's jump off Star Wars and get back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because, like I said, we are psyched for Captain America Civil War. And something that I'm sure a lot of people are going to get psyched about as well is that Marvel and Netflix have announced via Entertainment Weekly that they are indeed moving forward with a Punisher series, which will be a spin-off of the Daredevil series. Punisher premiered in season 2 of Daredevil, played by John Berthal. He's going to reprise his role, and it's going to be run by Hannibal Stephen Lightfoot, who will be the showrunner. This is going to be the 5th solo film from the Marvel and Netflix deal. The first being Daredevil, second being Jessica Jones, and then we have Luke Cage and Iron Fist coming up. Now, it's not known if Punisher is going to pop up in the team-up series, The Defenders, although it's kind of, I want to say, makes sense that he would at least make a cameo in this. No comment as well as when the Punisher series will come out, or if it might even be after the Defenders, but we'll wait and see.
Still early, right?
But yeah, just based off what we saw of Punisher and John Berthal in season 2, a lot of people are excited about this. I know you're excited.
Hell yeah, dude! I just bought a Challenger with Punisher emblems all over it.
I know, right?
And so I'm more excited about the Punisher series than I am about the Defenders, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And that's only because I don't know much about the Defenders, besides Daredevil. But man, I fell in love with this character. John Berthal's
great.
portrayal of the Punisher he's Frank Castle, man, and I have no idea what they're gonna do with this story. If they're gonna do more of an,
I don't know.
You can't do an origin story because
no, he's already had his origin.
Yeah, exactly.
Season 2 of Daredevil was his origin story.
Exactly.
So I said this before, because we were talking about Daredevil season 2, and as soon as season 2 came out, there were rumors that people wanted a Punisher series, or they might be talking about it. Will I watch it? Yes. Am I kind of excited? Yes. I don't know. I'm not as excited as some people, because while I like the character Punisher, I loved him in Daredevil season 2. I thought he served so well as a supporting character. Just his mindset and his moral code.
Yep.
I'm a guy. I'm Superman, Captain America. So that kind of dark character, I can't relate to as well. Well, I'm totally going to, watch the hell out of it. I'm not as excited for it as something else. I'm still weary as to, being able to relate this character as the star of his own series. I think I love Daredevil because I love Matt Murdock. But with Frank Castle, I couldn't relate to as much, even though I love the character. So, like I said, I'm going to watch it. I'm probably going to love it, but I'm not as excited.
And that's a good point you made. I'm excited to see the character and just more of the Punisher. I don't know what I'm excited for, but I'm excited. I don't know what story to expect. But hell yeah, dude, more Punisher. I think he's gonna be able to carry his own, man. I think the charisma, the I just don't know any Punisher villains. I just don't know who they are. Who can.
There's not a lot of big, real-known Punisher villains. Most of them are like small-time gangsters, really, and stuff too. So they can't really get a highlighted villain like Daredevil has Kingpin, Spider-Man has Green Goblin, and
but
all that.
You have Jessica Jones, which shocked the hell out of me. I had no idea who the hell Jessica Jones was. You had Kilgrave, who scared the crap out of me. So I'm gonna say this: in Marvel, I trust. In Marvel, we trust.
Oh yeah, of course. They've had no slip ups. They've had a few films that were, some people criticize Iron Man 2. I like to criticize Iron Man 3 myself, but they haven't been horrible.
Nope.
No, I haven't seen anything from Marvel come out that's horrible. Although you could kind of say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I hear that's getting really good too. But it's too late. I'm done with that show. I'm done with that show. Yes. But yeah, Marvel, like I said, in Marvel we trust. The Netflix series with 2 seasons of Daredevil and a season of Jessica Jones, all of them were great. I think they're going to continue that trend. And like I said, the Punisher was such a breakout character in season 2 of Daredevil. I think this is just, giving the people what they want. And I'm sure in the back of their minds when they put the Punisher character in season 2, they already had his own series in the back of their mind too. And once the people kind of confirmed that they love this character, like, okay, let's give them what they want.
Yeah,
so
already thinking ahead.
All right, so jumping over to the films, we got a couple set photos from the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy sequel, and one of them is a poster of the character Simon Williams. Now, Simon Williams is also known as Wonder Man in the comic books. In this, William gains ion powers from Baron Zemo. Just so you know, Baron Zemo, that character is going to be in Civil War, just as an FYI. And he eventually joins the Avengers as Wonder Man. He gets superhuman strength, speed, stamina, and more. He goes on to actually join the Avengers and then co-founds the West Coast Avengers as well. Which, the Avengers, they're in New York, so you got to have a West Coast Avengers as well. But anyway, the thing that's causing a buzz is that Simon Williams' character in these on the poster is played by actor Nathan Fillion. Now, Fillion, he was actually in the original Guardians of the Galaxy film, except for he was an alien. That alien that tried to pick a fight with Star-Lord, and then, Rocket and Groot kind of, saved him a little bit. That was actually Nathan Fillion. And he's had a relationship with director James Gunn, going back to, I believe it's the film Slither that Gunn did. Fillion was in that, so they have that relationship as well. But it's kind of interesting. Now people are talking about, well, Nathan Fillion's going to be Wonder Man in maybe some future films. And by putting this poster up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe film, it kind of confirms that, okay, if Nathan Fillion is going to play anybody, he's going to play this character, especially if you actually see it in the film, if it's obvious. If it's kind of in the background, maybe not so much. But if it's in the forefront, we can kind of confirm that Nathan Fillion, who is a sci-fi, I don't want to say god, but a sci-fi star with shows like Firefly. And he's also voiced Green Lantern quite a bit in the DC animated movies as well. He was actually a favorite to play Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern film, which I totally would agree at. If you haven't seen the fan-made Green Lantern trailer with Nathan Fillion, I highly recommend it. It's super cool. But anyway, in the going back to Guardians of the Galaxy, in the poster, is that it's actually advertising in the movie the Simon Williams Film Festival, and one of the films is actually a biopic about Tony Stark, in which Simon Williams plays Tony Stark. So that was kind of funny too. But Guardians of the Galaxy 2 comes out May 5th, 2017, directed by James Gunn, starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, many more. Okay, yeah, great cameo. Awesome. I don't think this means that Nathan Fillion is going to be seen in the movie, because from what James Gunn has said about this film as well, he said in the past that Chris Pratt's character, Star-Lord, is still the only human in the film. And I totally still believe that. So I don't think we're going to see Nathan Fillion in this film. But I'm curious where this is coming from, because this is on set, but if that means they're on Earth and Chris Pratt's the only human, it just confuses me. So, but overall, the poster I thought was funny. Nathan Fillion, great actor. I'd love to see him in the Marvel movie, but there it is. What do you got to say?
I mean, I don't know much about Nathan Fillion.
How dare you sit here and tell me that, okay?
I don't.
Again, I told you to watch Firefly many years ago, but you don't listen to me.
Firefly, I don't doubt how great of a show it is. I mean, written by Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon, yep.
I trust that guy. I'm excited about Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
I'm surprised in myself and disappointed in myself that I haven't bought the first one yet, but I love the first one. Ready to see Chris Pratt and another Guardians of the Galaxy, and man, I'm ready to see these universes tangle up together, man. I'm call me impatient, but I'm ready for that.
The Russo brothers, since they're doing their whole Captain America Civil War press tour, they're also directing Avengers Infinity War, and they've kind of confirmed that at least Star-Lord will be in the Infinity War, which we all sense. I mean, Thanos is kind of the interconnecting piece between all of this as well. So once they go cosmic, you got to run to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's fine.
I think once we see more of Thanos, we'll see more of the Guardians. Yeah,
I think so too. And like I said, I'm not thinking we're going to see the Guardians in part 1. Like I said, it's my kind of rational thought that Infinity War Part 1 is when Thanos comes to Earth and just kicks the crap out of everyone looking for the gems. And then maybe at the end of Infinity War Part 1, the Guardians show up and be like, all right, we're here to help. You know?
That's
what I would say. A little
bit more help than that.
Exactly.
Too, so.
But yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, Nathan Fillion, great actor. If he's going to be more in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm all about it. This is just a really fun cameo, especially him playing Tony Stark. I'd like to.
I gotta check that out.
I want to see a trailer. Give me a James Gunn. Give me a spoof trailer of Simon Williams playing Tony Stark, because I want to see Nathan Fillion do like a Robert Downey Jr. impression. That would be hilarious. That'd be great. All right, so moving on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this next story might stir a little bit of a controversy, but I'm going to run with it anyway because it's been making waves as well. Tilda Swinton was cast as the Ancient One in the Doctor Strange movie coming out in November, And since then, there's been quite a bit of criticism, and the phrase whitewashing has come up, actually. Now, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has gone on to say the Ancient One is a title that is not a spokesperson. The Ancient One is a title that is not exclusively held by any one character, but rather a monk-ear passed down through time, and in this particular film, the embodiment is Celtic. He went on to say as well, saying that the Ancient One's early comic appearances were stereotypical and don't hold up to what would work today. This, of course, referring to the Ancient One in the comic books being of Asian descent and stirring up more controversy of Hollywood whitewashing, taking roles in comic books and books that were, once done by Asian Americans, African Americans, stuff like that, and turning them white. Even, of course, in films like, Gods in Egypt's Exodus, where Christian Bale was playing a man of, Muslim descent, even though, Christian Bale is, Walish? Is that where he's from? British? Something like that. Anyway, he doesn't have dark skin. So this is going to feed into more controversy that Hollywood is whitewashing stuff as well. I got something to say about this, but I'm going to let you throw your 2 cents before I go on my rant.
Well, taking Tilda into perspective here and what I've saw from the trailer and what I've done my research on as far as the character goes, I like to think of as this almost like not a Munich, but she's just so ancient. She's so full of magic, I guess.
Yeah,
she's not male or female. She's not at this point.
Yeah.
She's been through so much history. She has.
It's kind of like with Doctor Who. There have been different actors who have played him, but it's all the same character because they morph into new people. So
yes, and I like thinking of it in that perspective. I feel like this whole whitewashing scene is just kind of like, man, it's just a trend lately. It's just feeding into what's going on lately.
To me, it's all the PC police.
Yeah.
Really. Okay, I'm going to go into it.
Go ahead.
Tilda Swinton, fabulous actress. Nobody's is doubting that, okay? And Tilda Swinton has said, she kind of commented on this whole story where when she read for the character description didn't say Asian American, or Asian descent or whatever. And to me, again, going back to Exodus, Gods and Monsters, when Ridley Scott was asked about that, how he cast these kind of 2 British guys to play Muslim characters, people were upset with them. And you know what he said? He said, well, I'm sorry, but if I put Christian Bale to star in a movie, or I put some no-name Muslim actor, who are people going to go see? And I'm sorry, but it's Hollywood. They're in a business, okay? If you put a no-name actor in a film that's, cost $200 million to make, and then you put Christian Bale in that exact same film, which movie is more likely to get you back your money? And I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And Tilda Swinton, yeah, she's not Asian, but guess what? She's a good actress. And sometimes it's not about getting the right person for the role. It's about getting the best actor, actress for the role. And that's the same way, with... it goes the other way, too, guys, okay? It goes the exact opposite way as far as the Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Doctor Strange's partner or sidekick in this film. Guess what? In the comic book, he was Asian. But in this movie, he's, African American, okay? Where are people saying that, huh? Where's the people giving them credit for that? They're not, okay? They're just, like,
negative news,
whatever.
Man,
exactly. It's just ridiculous. And I'm sorry, like I said, I'm all about, giving people equal rights and whatnot, but getting the best actor or actress for the role is the number one priority.
Yeah.
Okay? And Tilda Swinton, great actress. She can definitely do whatever, role they throw at her. And yeah, maybe down the line, they will shift it to, an Asian American or someone of Asian descent. And I'd be completely fine with that because it'll fit the character, like I said, of morphing into different roles. But I'm just getting so sick of this PC police, jumping through hoops just to please everyone is just getting a little ridiculous in my mind. And I'm just sick of it. Kevin Feige tried to make these comments to smooth things over, but we know it was just him, trying to calm down the masses, and which is just ridiculous.
I thought he did a good job with his comments.
Of course,
being as politically correct as he could. I mean, he also mentioned that his character could be a Celtic, cultured, character.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's gotta end with this whole whitewashing thing and being politically correct.
And I get it, you want people of other races to get their roles. I totally get it, and there are some fabulous Asian American, African American actors out there. We definitely much of cinema has proven that. It's just for this particular role. Somewhere, somebody in Marvel said, "Hey, Tilda Swinton did the best job," and that's just what it is.
Yep.
So get over it, guys. Let's move on. There'll be plenty of other roles down the line. So then, I'm not even gonna get to the Oscar stuff. Whatever.
No,
anyway,
that's in the back of my mind as well. But
I almost went there, but I'm like, nope. Let's just stop it. Let's move on. Let's not dig ourselves a deeper hole.
On a lighter note, let's get a Mexican Wolverine. How about we do that? That would give me the opportunity to be Wolverine. I mean, I already got the height down. I already got the hairy part. I can act.
You can't even lie, dude.
I can. Oh, I can lie.
You can't lie to save your life.
Yes,
okay?
I can.
No, you can't hold a secret. I know that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, you can't. Please, dude. I learned a long time ago. I can't tell you anything important, man. Please. All right, so let's jump out of there and let's jump over to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
All right, so 20th Century Fox has come out and said that this summer they will not be attending the infamous Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. Hall H being a place where a lot of big films and TV reveal clips and trailers and stuff like that. Last year, 20th Century Fox brought trailers for Deadpool and X-Men Apocalypse, and just hours later they were on the web. So they got a little sick of this, so they said they're not bringing anything to San Diego Comic-Con this year, such as clips from their upcoming Wolverine film or Assassin's Creed or even possibly the Deadpool sequel. They're just kind of pulling out altogether. Now this kind of goes off as well, where Disney and Marvel last year didn't really bring anything to Comic-Con as well. Now this kind of stirs up the controversy as well that in recent years, the San Diego Comic-Con is too big, where the security is too loose. People can just whip out their phones and record and send it up, and it's becoming an issue, really, is what it is. So there's been talk about 20th Century Fox pulling out, even possibly Disney / Marvel / Lucasfilm not showing up as well. And this feeds into more reports about San Diego Comic-Con, how it's become so commercial now, with like everybody showing up, every TV show. They know it's the main event of entertainment of the year, and people who have attended are saying how it's becoming so crowded, and the convention center refuses to expand. It refuses to accommodate for all the people, and again, hire more security to help protect it. Disney released a bunch of stuff for their Marvel films and their upcoming slate, especially with Star Wars, at D23 last year. And you know what? None of that got out unless Disney wanted it to, just because they had the security tight, they had it all wrapped up, they knew what they were doing. Just goes and feeds into the fact that Disney, like their theme parks, like their movies, is a very well-oiled machine, I'll tell you what. But San Diego Comic-Con, some people are, thinking about dropping out and might lose some of its steam. I think it's I don't know.
No, man, no. I mean, we're in a superhero era. We're in this era where these are the type of movies that are selling. I think that's why it's blown up. That's why it's bigger. I mean, this industry has always been around, but now that Hollywood is shooting out these movies, like you said, a well-oiled machine, you're gonna have to deal with the crowds.
Well, that too. But I think it's more like I said. This story is more about the security of releasing these clips. They put these clips together and show them directly at Comic-Con. Sometimes they're unfinished product with like graphics not being so good. Mm-hmm. Like going back to X-Men Apocalypse, the trailer that they showed there, Apocalypse was still a work in progress. But people first got wind of it and saw it and put it online, where he looked kind of purple. They say he looked like Ivan Ooze or whatever. And people were just totally ragging on it. And, it wasn't meant to come out in the public. It was just meant to tease people that went to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But it got out in public, kind of started a negative backlash or negative press about X-Men Apocalypse. So 20th Century Fox since then has tried to, get people excited, get people back on the bandwagon for X-Men Apocalypse.
I thought that in that situation in particular, it was kind of cool because it seemed like Bryan Singer listened to the fans, changed the way, and we haven't seen him look purple since. Which I mean, I don't know
honestly,
if they necessarily made adjustments.
I'm still of the mindset it was the fact that it just wasn't done. It was.
I'm thinking that they made adjustments. You can, as a director, I would want to look at what my fans are saying. It gives me the opportunity to make some quick adjustments. It kind of makes me think of the way Christopher Nolan was with the voice of Bane, if you remember that. Few trailers showed Bane with a certain type of voice, and I read that he had to make adjustments on the way the voice sounded and how clear it was.
Well, he needed to make more adjustments because that voice is still...
That voice is awesome, man.
It's distinct, but I'm sorry, it doesn't really scare me too much, honestly.
But my point is that I feel like you can look at these in a positive way. We are making these movies for the people. And the people are going to be very freaking. Everybody has an opinion.
Everybody's critical.
Everybody thinks their opinion matters, and in that situation,
hence why we do this show.
You can think, these critiques as constructive criticism, and use it to your advantage, and make some adjustments for the better. So it's got its good and bad. I feel like.
Yeah, it's just it's stuff that's not supposed to come out to a public gets out, and then it's not how. With movies like this, especially those blockbusters, the studios want to control everything as to what people see first, when they see it, stuff like that, and they can't control it. So I think it's what kind of upsetting them in that respect. And I totally get it. I think this just feeds into more of the complaints about San Diego Comic-Con, about the way it's being run. I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con. I would love to go. Well, I wanted to go. Now, I'm not so sure, honestly, because of the bad things I keep hearing about it as far as the crowdedness and all the issues.
Right.
I wanted to go several years and never got a chance. So I've been at Chicago Comic-Con, loved it every time. Never made it out to New York, which is the other big one. But either way, I don't think they're completely dropping out. But I think this is kind of another wake-up call for the San Diego Convention Center that, hey, you need to adjust, or you're going to start losing, people, I think.
Yeah, and that's a big that's a lot of money for San Diego, I imagine.
Exactly.
That comes in from
exactly.
them,
so. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you got to book. Not only do you have to book your tickets. I mean, like tickets for San Diego Comic-Con have gotten to the fact where they sell out within minutes of going on sale online. People have to book their hotels like the same time they try to get their tickets because hotels sell out as well.
Yeah.
People it's crazy how big it's become. So it's just something that the city of San Diego and that convention center has to adapt, both in a sense of how many people attend and also in a sense of security to help protect these studios for what they want and making sure that it all runs smoothly. And because otherwise, studios and companies might not want to come there if they feel like they're not doing what they want.
I mean, in my mindset, all you have to do is don't allow people to take their phones in.
Yeah, but you told me to, take away your phone. Say my mother's in the hospital, you take away my phone for an hour? No, that's not gonna fly.
I've been to concerts before where they do not allow filming.
Oh, yeah, they don't.
Video. Yeah,
they don't. But people find a way.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. They tell people right above, do not film this. Do not film this. But people always film this. Why? Because the security there is so lax that you don't have enough people, and they're volunteers too. They're not like hired security to do their job. These are volunteers at San Diego Comic-Con. If I volunteered at San Diego Comic-Con and then I'm standing there doing crowd control and then a trailer comes up, I'm like, ooh, a trailer.
We need sentinels, man. We need to make some type of sentinels that robots, can detect phone activity.
We can only rely on robots to do our jobs, right?
Sentinels.
Right? That's what you're saying?
It won't go wrong, trust me.
No, not at all. No, not like the entire history of cinema or film or fantasy. Has someone told us that, trusting the robots has gone wrong, right? Of course not.
The more jobs we give them, the easier our lives
become. The ticker jabs. All right. So moving on. 2 weeks ago, we got our first look at Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa in the upcoming Power Rangers film. Now, last week, we got even more pictures via Twitter of her in a different costume. The first pictures were her of kind of a green costume. This one, she's wearing black. Looks like she's kind of just been released from her 10,000 years of captivity. And she's also standing in front of Power Rangers as well. Rumors have said that maybe she's trying to steal the Power Rangers powers at this Power Rangers powers. Yes, I said that, didn't I?
I think you did.
Trying to steal their powers in those scenes. Power Rangers based off the old 90s cartoon, not cartoon.
Don't mess this up, man.
I'm totally messing this up. Power Rangers based off the old 90s series. The series follows 5 ordinary high school teenagers who become something extraordinary when they learn that their small town of Angel Grove and the world is on the verge of being obliterated by an alien threat, aka Rita Repulsa. Chosen by destiny, our heroes quickly discover that they are the only ones who can save the planet, but to do so, they will have to overcome their real-life issues and band together as the Power Rangers before it's too late. The film is being shot in Vancouver. No one knows exactly how long. The film is being directed by Dean Israelite, who directed Project Almanac, and is set to come out March 24th, 2017. Now, last week I had on the notes that we were going to talk about the first picture where Elizabeth Banks was dressed in green, but we didn't get a chance to do that because we spent too much time talking about Game of Thrones and X-Men Apocalypse trailer, which I just realized we didn't mention Game of Thrones yet, so we'll have to get to that. Get to that. Maybe we should save that for the end because otherwise it'll take up the whole show. But anyway, looking at just these pictures and the pictures before it, what do you think about it, Josh?
Very convinced of Elizabeth Banks' abilities and to play Rita. I like the take that they're putting on her now. Definitely has more of a sexy adult vibe to her.
So now there's this rumor going around that from that first photo when she's dressed in green, they're like, ooh, is she like the original Green Ranger?
Ooh.
Just because she's dressed in green. I think that's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, in this series, because I watched the Power Rangers when I was younger.
Oh, yeah.
Rita gave Tommy the Green Ranger power. So she might have that power to start off in this movie, much like she did in the series. I don't know. I think it's just a stupid fan theory, but you never know.
Well, if you take a look at the color green itself, a lot of times I think it can represent evil. And so maybe that's what it is. Just
the color of money.
Nice. But no, I really feel like maybe that's what it is. It's and maybe if there is a Green Ranger, it could be follow the series and turn this Green Ranger.
I don't know. I think they're obviously good. If this film does succeed, obviously they're probably going to bring the Green Ranger in on the second one.
If it does succeed, it's going to be awesome, man.
You never know, dude. You don't know that, okay? So many people are like, if they try to make it too much like the old series, it's going to fail because it was just so damn cheesy.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, having Elizabeth Banks on this part, I trust in her. She's a good actress. I think she'll take it seriously. I think it'll be a good job. I'm going to wait for a trailer before I, judge it.
Yeah.
These pictures look cool though. It just depends, man. If they take the source material seriously and not try to be goofy with it, kind of like what the series did, I think it'll be okay. But
if it can capture what Marvel's captured with this humor, this light sense of humor mixed with the intensity, the action, I think that's a great route for the film. It's Power Rangers, man. You got to market it to the kids at least some point, at least teenagers, and if they can balance that with appealing to adults, man, it's going to make a lot of money.
You got to hit them both. Yeah, exactly. You got to hit
them both.
And that's going back to the Marvel movies. Marvel movies are for families.
Yeah. And
those are good. If you can get something in there for the kids and the adults, you're going to have a great, successful film.
I think Elizabeth Banks is a great choice, too, especially as I think she's the only really known actor.
Besides the 5 Power Rangers themselves, I have no idea who they are.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I mean, I loved her in Hunger Games. I didn't even realize that was her in for a long time.
Oh, she did a great job in that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think if she can capture that same entertaining, charisma, then I think this movie's going to be great, man. So
cool. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, so moving on, other casting news. So the Tomb Raider film, based off the popular video game, has been in works for quite some time now. Now, they had 2 previous Tomb Raider films starring Angelina Jolie that did okay, but they're looking to reboot the film franchise, just like they rebooted the actual video game franchise. And, there were several rumors about who they want to play the title character of Lara Croft. We reported on here, or spoke about last month, I believe it was, about how Star Wars Force Awakens star Daisy Ridley was possibly in talks to play the character. Well, now, according to Hollywood Reporter, Alicia Vikander, who is the Ex Machina star, has signed on to play Lara Croft. Vikander is also known for roles in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was one of my favorite films last year. And she most recently won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in The Danish Girl, which I have yet to see. It's on my hold list at the library, but I haven't seen that yet. But she's going to play a young Lara Croft in this film, supposedly young and untested. And film is set to come out, doesn't have a release date yet, actually. But we'll just have to wait and see. It's being directed by Roar Utendog. That's a weird name.
Nice.
Who directed the film The Wave, which I haven't seen as well. But it's going to be produced by Warner Brothers and MGM. So there you go.
Warner Bros. Owns the rights to this. I think, didn't they make the last one?
I don't know. I thought Universal did the last one, maybe. I don't know. It's been so long. I watched the first Tomb Raider film. I didn't see the second one because the first one wasn't that good to begin with.
I love it, dude. I love this whole franchise.
So I know. Did you ever see Ex Machina?
No, I didn't.
Okay, but I know you saw The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes.
So how do you feel about this actress taking on Lara Croft?
I saw it immediately.
Yeah.
You know, the long hair, the accent, the toughness that she provides. I think it would be a great casting choice. She's got this. She's kind of tiny too, man.
She's tiny. She's hot though, man.
Yeah, she is. She's beautiful, and that's what I've always pictured Lara Croft, not as an Amazonian woman, but as this. You underestimate her from start to finish.
People sometimes compare her to a female Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
which I totally get. I think she's a little more athletic than Indiana Jones, but I get it. But
she struggles. I think she can struggle, and she's relatable as well. So I'm excited for this movie to be for this industry to be rebooted. I've played the games. You know, I grew up on the games. My dad, I remember watching him beat all three, dude, I love this series, so I can't wait to see it. As far as her, I'm excited. I think she'd be great. What I'm interested in is we're having with, you mentioned Force Awakens. These Star Wars movies are kind of going where these female leads. I think the timing could be, couldn't be any better. But at the same time, they're going to be competing with a lot of other movies that have female leads. So how do you separate yourself?
That's just the way it's going, man. They're going after that female audience. As far as the Daisy Ridley casting rumors about this, I totally see it because Daisy Ridley already has her own franchise to carry. It's Star Wars. It's a big, big burden, and I don't want to see her try to carry another franchise. Honestly, I think that's not good for an actress. No. Alicia Vikander, Ex Machina, The Danish Girl, has proven last year she was a phenomenal actress. I just saw another trailer of like a Victorian era film that she's going to be in as well, which looks great. I love this actress. I loved Ex Machina. I loved The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I'm excited to see The Danish Girl. Just great, great actress. And I think picking up on a franchise like this is fine. I don't want to see too many actors or actresses try to do multiple franchises. Because then I think people don't take it seriously. If you have one franchise that you do, and then you have like smaller independent stuff that kind of flexes your acting abilities, I think is a good way to go with it. So Alicia Vikander has already proven herself a great actress. Now the fact that we're gonna get a great actress in a franchise film, that's what we want. That's what Marvel has been doing so well, is they've been casting a talent into their franchise films. And that's what it is. I mean, they got, Robert Redford in Captain America. They got, Jeff Bridges in Iron Man. They got Anthony Hopkins in Thor. They're casting these, award-winning actors and actresses for their films, and that's why they're doing so well, because they're getting the right performers for them. They're not just putting people who look good, they're getting people who act good as well. Yep. And I think on Warner Brothers and MGM's part, Alicia Vikander, that's kind of the same way. Smart move. I'm all about it. I wasn't interested really in this film, but now I am. So
hot chicks wielding guns. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on from there. Since I'm going to skip to my last story, since we still want to have some time to talk about a little GOT. So director Seth Grahame-Smith is said to have left the upcoming Warner Brothers film The Flash that he was set to direct. According to Hollywood Reporter, he left due to creative differences. Prior to this, Graham actually helped write the script for the film, which is based off a treatment by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Now, those two, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, were originally set to direct the film. They left to go do the Han Solo spin-off film for Disney and Lucasfilm. Let's see here. Now, Ezra Miller is still set to play the title character. We saw him appear briefly in The Flash, in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and he will also appear in Justice League Part 1, which comes out November 17th, 2017. The Flash film is set to come out March 16th, 2008. Now, this kind of feeds into more speculation about the possible trouble that Warner Brothers is having with their DC properties. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice wasn't quite the huge success they wanted it to be. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Critics hated it. I think it's sitting like right now like at 15% on Rotten Tomatoes with critics and like a 68% with fans. So that's not very good, I don't think. And with this Flash movie as well, it already had stuff working against it because of the TV series and the success of the TV series. Last week as well, they released some of the character descriptions that they were looking for. Iris West, Eobard Thawne, Jake Garrett, all characters who were featured prominently on the television show, and people are, want something new from this movie that is just not something they've already seen on TV. But with Seth Grahame-Smith leaving the project now, I'm curious what exactly is going to happen with this film. Josh, how do you see it? Do you see it as trouble within the DC cinematic universe, or is it just a single incident that Warner Brothers is going to take care of?
Oh man, no. I see it as a major trouble ahead, and the fact that you can't get this director nailed down. I mean, they have a huge mountain to climb up here, man. I mean, the TV series and due to the success of the series.
Yeah,
they have some big shoes to fill, man, and then to come up with this entirely new story, this new Flash, it's gonna be a lot.
And that's the thing too. Again, with the TV series, they have to show us something different. Now, granted, people who will go see this Flash movie, a majority of them haven't seen the Flash TV series.
Yeah,
allegedly, I don't really believe that, honestly, because if you're excited for this film, chances are you're excited for the character, and chances are you've checked out the TV series. But general audience-wise, a lot of people will probably have not seen the TV series, so it's weird. So you gotta do something new and different from the TV series to appease the fans of the Flash. But then you also have to do something that's, I think, I don't want to say true to the character, but something good enough or correct enough that you'll appease the general audience who doesn't know this character, who is hasn't seen the TV series. So it's a very difficult line, and that's what I thought about from the beginning when they talked about bringing in the Flash and making the Flash Barry Allen. I thought that was a mistake, honestly, because you already have a Barry Allen on TV, and they're like, yeah, well, TV and movies are separate, it won't matter. I'm sorry, it matters, okay? What they should have done is you have several other people who have donned the role of the Flash. Wally West, I think, should have been the movie version Flash, but they've already committed to it. Whether they'll stay committed, I don't know. But taking a character that, again, like Barry Allen, who is well known and well done on the TV series, and trying to take that character and make him something different, I'm not a big fan of. And again, creative differences is why Seth Grahame-Smith left. Maybe he felt the same way.
See, that scares me, man. When I hear directors say that, it's just like, what is this? What is the studio trying to do?
Now, let's not be too hasty, okay? You know me. I wasn't a big fan of Batman v Superman, so sometimes I come off like I'm kind of hating on it. Like, there are those people out there that are like, yeah, Marvel, DC sucks, or yeah, DC, Marvel sucks. I've been hearing a lot of that lately. I'm not trying to hate on DC, but it again makes me question, what they're doing over there as well, as far as creative differences.
And in my opinion, I feel like Warner Brothers, DC is basing these films off the general audience. Like they're almost making these films where they assume that the majority of the people that are going to watch this are people who don't know the characters. people who are not interested in
But the
comic
Flash
books.
is a popular character
Exactly.
too. I mean, he's featured at Six Flags where people go all the time.
And I feel like these films aren't being made for fanboys. They're being made to sell tickets, entertaining action, to sell tickets to the general audience. And in my opinion, it's just like that's the wrong way to do it. Marvel, I feel like makes movies.
Okay, I'm gonna go get in with that, man. You can't just make a film for the fanboys. I consider myself a fanboy, but you can't make it just for the fanboys.
But I feel like Marvel does. I feel like Marvel makes it a point to. No, they don't get me wrong. It's a well-rounded film. Every film that comes out from Marvel, it's gonna appeal to everybody. But they do a good job of putting goose eggs. They do a good job of connecting them back to relatable characteristics of these characters that we love, that we know. And DC doesn't do that, I feel like. DC just, they put these characters in a movie, they throw it all into the blender, and this is what you get. This is the dessert that you get. And it's, they don't do enough, they don't do a good job of creating relatable facts.
I got you. I mean, for me, it has to do, I'm not going to get into my issues with Batman v Superman, but yeah, I think again it goes back to what I feared before. They're trying so hard to be different from Marvel that they're just blowing it again. So I think that goes and feeds it. They're trying so hard to be different from the TV series that it might get them in trouble. Now, not to say that the Flash is completely in disarray right now, because some people may remember that Ant-Man, the Marvel film Ant-Man, actually lost its director, Edgar Wright, after creative differences as well. He did a lot of work on the film and then left. But that was kind of different because by that point, you're so deep into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige had this plan as to where Ant-Man would fit in, and Edgar Wright wrote his Ant-Man script before the Cinematic Universe kind of took shape. And his Ant-Man didn't fit in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and maybe it's something to where maybe Seth Grahame-Smith's Flash doesn't fit in the DC Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the case, and maybe they'll get into the director. That'll be fine. I don't know. It's never a good sign when the director leaves a project, especially when it's supposed to come out 2 years from now.
I'm just scared that they've already, Barry Allen has long hair. He looks like a bum in Batman.
He looks like my brother-in-law who's long hair and refuses to eat meat and stuff like that. I mean, not to say anything, but yes, that just got me scared. All right. So move on from here because we only got a few minutes left, and we got to get into some Game of Thrones, man. So, season 6, episode 2 came out on Sunday, and I gotta say, as much as I loved the episode, I was also a tiny bit disappointed. Let you know, of course, we are going to spoilers, guys. So, spoiler coming in 3, 2, 1. Jon Snow is alive. He comes back to life. And to me, a week and a half ago, I was convinced he wasn't coming back to life. Then I did some research into the books, and I realized, okay, maybe he is coming back to life, but he's not coming back that soon. In episode 2, here he is. And to me, I felt a little cheated because his body was barely cold, man. I mean, yes, he was in the snow, but you know what I'm saying. He wasn't dead long enough for it to matter, I think.
You're just upset because you were wrong, brother. You were wrong.
Hey, I corrected myself on his death before we saw him come back to life, okay? So I'm not going to say I was wrong. But that's the thing I like about this show, too, is what I think this show is going to happen never happens.
Man,
they always surprise you.
Yeah.
So aside from the Jon Snow resurrection, a couple of cool things that happened in this. I mean, you had one of the Boltons die. Ramsay has now taken control of Winterfell. You have Tyrion going in to see the dragons as well.
Yeah.
You got that going on. And then you have Theon leaving Sansa, taking the horses, not sure where he's going. But yeah, quite a few highlights happening in this episode. Besides the Jon Snow thing, what was kind of your another takeaway from this episode?
I really liked the relationship that Tyrion was building with the dragons, and it started turning some circuits with me as far as who's Tyrion and what gives him this confidence around these dragons. I know he wanted a dragon, when he was younger.
Yeah, he's had an obsession with dragons. Actually, they don't really get into it too much in this series, but I know in the books they talk about how he's it's such a child, had an obsession with dragons.
And they touched that a little bit, and I really thought that was cool. It really started getting my brain thinking, where's his origin? What makes him so confident around these dragons? And that whole scene, the way it played out, was awesome, man. I really thought. I mean, I'm dubbing this episode the best episode of the series. I mean,
no.
Yes, I know.
No.
I know you like your Jon Snow White Walker episode.
White Walker episode and Red Wedding.
Yeah,
Red Wedding,
man. This had everything in it to me, and
it was a great episode. I'll tell you that. And I'll tell you what, man. Just when I thought I couldn't want Ramsay Bolton dead anymore, he does this episode. Now, granted, he killed one of my top 5 characters I wanted to see dead. But then he went and killed his brother and his mother-in-law and just, a stepmother, I guess. I saw it when she first handed him that child. I thought he was going to throw the child in the fire or something, But then instead he sicked the hounds on him. And like I said, man, just when you think you couldn't want him dead anymore, he goes and does this. But I'm still sticking by my original theory that Sansa is. I don't know if she's going to make it all the way to Castle Black. I think she will, because I predicted she's going to hook up with the Wildlings, and then they're going to fight against Ramsay or the Bolton army. And I'm still sticking by that fan theory. I think she's going to make it now since the Wildlings are at Castle Black. I think she's going to make it all the way to Castle Black with the help of Brienne, and I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, Ramsay's got it coming, man. Ramsay's got it coming. I can't wait to see the way that man dies, but... Sansa hooking up with I'm sorry, what
Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne of Tarth. That was I think that was an important piece, and I don't know where.
Here's what I like about the one thing I took away after I thought about it too. Okay, so at the end of season 3, Sansa kind of ended that season thinking the only relatives she had left alive was Jon. Okay. And now she's come through the end of last season thinking that Theon told her that her 2 youngest brothers might still be alive. And then she's talking to Brienne and finds from Brienne that Arya might still be alive as well, too.
Right.
So, to her, I feel like that means a lot, knowing that she was so sure that, all of her siblings were dead. And now she's come to find out that maybe they're not. Maybe, they're still out there and, she can find them, perhaps.
Yeah. And in this episode, another highlight for me was Arya. I love that they didn't have her begging for another 2 episodes or another episode. I love how quickly they did it in a good way where, you got the point. She had to go through that initiation. She had to go through that struggle, that desperate. She had to taste it in order to... She has to lose herself, man. I think at one point we're going to see Arya. The next time she's with her family, she's not going to know who she is, man.
Well,
she's not going to be the Arya Stark.
I think she's still playing the act. I think she's saying I'm nobody just to get that training. I think as soon as she leaves that temple, again, she's going to pull Needle out from that rocks. She's going to go kick some ass is what she's going to do. But now we're at the point now where like a lot of the enemies that she had on her list are dead. Joffrey's dead. The Hound's dead.
Yeah.
All the people that she wanted to kill are already dead just about, actually.
Yeah.
Except for, Cersei and Jaime Lannister, which now I'm of the mindset I really don't want them to die because I like their characters now.
Oh, they're getting ready to go on a rampage, man.
Oh, they're about to tear up that High Sparrow, man.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen Jaime just just kill the High Sparrow.
I was ready for that. I really was. He's just so protected.
But you got to think, man, the High Sparrow, he has that. He comes off as very meek or whatever, but that boy's gunning for the throne, man.
He's powerful.
He's literally telling the king what to do at this point.
Yeah, he's very powerful.
It's scary, man. And like I said, the Lannisters have got to buck up. Jaime's got to take his rightful place at the head of that army and take them down.
They'll take over King's Landing, man.
Exactly.
They will take over unless the Lannisters defend what is there. So that's what I also took from this episode.
They have to be just as ruthless as we all remember them to be. In that season 1, the Lannisters, we hated them so much because of how ruthless they were. They need to find their way back to that spot, because that's the only way I think they're going to be able to take down the High Sparrow and his minions.
Yeah, and then you had the new king, the younger son of Cersei.
I never remember his name. He's a wimp.
But he's actually turning around. He's
not turning around, dude.
He mentioned to his mother he doesn't want to be weak. He wants to be strong the way she taught him.
Well, he's going to die before he comes strong. So.
I don't know, man. I think
you've already
he's
got
a balanced leader, I think.
You've already got that prophecy of how Cersei's going to lose all of her children, too, in her quest for power. True. I think that's going to happen. I think he's going to die. So again, I'm curious who's going to be on the throne at the end. If all those, all of her kids are gone, who's going to be sitting on the throne? I don't know. But last week we posed the question, when do we think Jon Snow is going to come back to life? Well, we didn't even get a chance to actually answer those responses. So he's already back to life. So now, dang it! What was my other? I had another thing that I was gonna do. Oh yes, okay. So now my new survey is: who do you think is gonna be the one to kill Ramsay? Who's gonna kill Ramsay?
The dragons. I hope they rip him apart.
Yeah, right. Because I thought maybe Sansa could do it because of what he's done to her. I could think Theon because of what he's done to him.
Yeah.
And then I could also think even just flat out Jon Snow leading the Wildling army against the Bolton army, and he just takes out Bolton.
I hope he doesn't die in battle. I'd hate that. I mean, it'd be a little disappointing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see Sansa do it just because what he's put her through as well. But I'm curious. I'm very curious. Okay, guys. So who do you think is going to kill Ramsay Bolton now? He's the number one guy we all want to see dead. So I want to know what your theories are as to how he's going to die and who do you think is going to kill him, or maybe who do you think deserves to be the one to kill him? Because I could see maybe Jon taking him out, but then the final blow he gives Sansa the sword and Sansa just gives it to him.
That would be
something
a cool
like
moment. I think she's due for a kill too.
Yeah, right.
I don't think she's had to kill anybody.
I'm totally forgot about Theon. I'm curious where he's going to go. Is he because they touched on the Iron Islands, in this one, the Ironborn as they call themselves, where his father is dead, killed by his brother. So is there going to be a power struggle now between his uncle and his sister? And is Theon going to come back and try to secure his place among the Ironborn as ruler of them, or is he going to go the opposite way and go back to Winterfell to try to take out Ramsay? He didn't really say where he's going. We just know that he's leaving Sansa, and I'm curious what route he's going to go. Is he going to go try to grab an army to come back and take on Ramsay, or is he going to go back and just try to go all stealth mode and take out Ramsay?
Right.
I think that is his key, though. His key is to take out Ramsay. I'm just curious how he's going to do it. So we will wait and see. Man, 2 great episodes of Game of Thrones. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited to see how this season is going to continue. But we got to end it there, guys, because we're running a little over. But that's it for us. If you guys have any thing you want to talk about, any questions, comments, want to yell at us, want to know more, just hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. You can also find us on our Facebook group or on Twitter. You can find me personally on Twitter or Instagram at Slim, that's SLYM 12, Dayspring12. And Josh, where can they find you?
Instagram, I am Batman 24724.
All right, guys. So send us in your comments as well as far as who you think is going to kill Ramsay, how he's going to die, when he's going to die, stuff like that. And if enough people have some good theories, we'll talk about it, and we'll try to give it some thought too as well. But watch him die next episode. Watch him die next episode. Be like, damn it, dude! That's what we should do now, man. Every episode, if that happens, then every episode we're gonna say something else, and it'll happen. And then
I'm down,
dude. Maybe the people from Game of Thrones are listening to this, man. They're getting their ideas from us, and they're changing it.
I'm down. It sounds like we need an interview set up some interviews here.
Exactly, man. HBO, call us, okay? We know what's up, all right? All right, guys. So until next time, remember, winter is coming.